Hi, everyone. Welcome again to my channel where I'm highlighting different people as we go along that are helping humanity. So I hope that in your corner of the world, you're having a beautiful day, afternoon, or evening. And today I'm going to introduce to you Jeanne Russell. Okay. Jeanne Russell resides in East Tennessee, and she has been a level 3 Reiki practitioner since about 2021. Okay. Jeanne then discovered the emotion code, and body code developed from Dr. Bradley Nelson over 25 years ago in his practice. This energy healing modality can be used as a holistic health modality to ease physical and emotional ailments so many people struggle with. Okay. Jeanne's mission is to provide affordable sessions that anyone can afford and actually get some results from, helping people understand the interface that trapped emotions cause in our bodies and the simplicity of releasing them and not reliving them is her ultimate goal. So welcome, Jeanne, to my channel. And we've talked before, and you've helped me with some of your body code. And actually, even when you were doing the Reiki, learning from you, I just haven't stepped into that arena myself yet. But all of this energy healing is so fascinating. And there's so many different ways to approach a person because we're all uniquely different. And that's what the cool thing is. So I thank you for being here today, taking time out of your schedule.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me. It's exciting. The Reiki is exciting. And having that under my belt, then adding the emotion code and the body code, I think has been a huge bonus for the body code. I've been able to work on people all over the world, from Australia, Denmark, UK. I mean, it's everywhere. And
isn't that amazing that we have, for all the things that people our age might lament about the frustrations with technology, this allows our connection at the same time. So it's a mixed blessing, if you will, but it allows us to connect with people all over the world, doesn't it?
Yes, and making people understand how the energy works, because distance is irrelevant, time is irrelevant. You can, it helps people understand once they actually, they feel it and see the results, because I've been asked, is this do you have to believe it for it to work, or is it a what's that word, placebo? I'm like, no, you don't have to believe me.
Well, there are some people who we can work opposite, right? You have to believe it and then you'll see it or understand it, or you have to see it, to believe it. It can be both ways, but we know that our bodies and we, as sovereign, in humanity, and as sovereign souls, we are more alike than different. This is a universal language for all of us as far as our bodies. We're designed to heal naturally, or go along, not allow us.
Given the body the ability, because the emotions do more damage than we would ever thought to have given credit for. Like a quick little thing is that my husband had a rib that just kept coming out. I mean, he had it put in over a dozen times, and then when I got into this and started releasing emotions, it would start to stay in longer and longer, because it's almost like the body says, okay, if I make you hurt here, then you're going to do something about it.
Exactly. Well, I would, wouldn't you say that, I mean, in our 3D life and how we have started, we come in with a veil. We don't have our memory of who we really are. And emotions, oh my gosh, they're at every different level possible. Right.
You come in with them. You come in, I've had quite a few people, they come in with preconceived emotions, and they have preconceived memory fields and heart walls, and lived your whole life through this and not even knowing that they're there. It's just,
and I would imagine that that's where it follows through with what we're learning and what we now know of the many different lifetimes we had. Or you could go to timelines where you are in multiple dimensions at the same time. I still am mind blown about that. So we are just going to kind of go on some bullet points here. There are 2 beautiful articles, and I will attach all of Jeanne's information in the description to this video, from her email, all of her contact information, and these 2 articles, and her YouTube channel, and just everything, whatever she's got. So the way I'm going to start it is the services she's provided. She goes by Energy Work with Jeanne. That is her title of her business. It offers a variety of treatments, okay, that cater to the mind, body, and soul. The treatments are not just about healing physical ailments. They are about creating a balance within oneself, leading to a more functional and healthier life. The treatments are designed to help individuals drop their emotional baggage, freeing their lives to live their lives to the fullest. So isn't that what we all want and strive to do? So Energy Work with Jeanne offers her business, and her mission in this life offers 2 different modalities, okay, 2 different types of treatment. The first treatment is Reiki. Again, Reiki is something you've been doing since 2021, but it's due to your own story. Jeanne, do you want to elaborate on how you kind of came about?
Yeah, well, I ended up doing Reiki because I have reverse curvature. I got severe degenerative disc and arthritis all in my neck, thanks to the phones. So, long story short, I went through a lot of things trying to find relief. Of course, I spent 2 years with a neurologist, and I got nothing but, he said, I can't do anything but pills. And that wasn't an option for me. And then I moved in, I learned, started some acupuncture, and I would get a temporary relief, but it just wouldn't stay long enough to warrant what I was paying to get it done. And then I found, stones and crystals, and I would end up, my very first crystal was a petrified wood, and I would literally sleep with it in the crook of my neck, and it would keep the pain at bay. So petrified wood is amazing. And then I found Reiki, and then everything I kept finding, I would get longer and longer relief from this. And then when I found the Reiki, I'm like, okay, this lasts longer. I'm going to teach, go and learn how to do this, and I can keep my pain at bay myself. And then I found this emotion code.
So you actually went into Reiki for yourself?
Yes.
And your family, and
yes.
Got certified and used it, enough to go, wow, this is the real deal. Before all this happened, when you were suffering, would you say you were what we call awake, or were you awakened to a lot of this stuff, the energy healing?
I was awakened to the political garbage,
right,
but not to the energy of it. I went in to do Reiki 1 just so I could work on myself. And then as I started learning more and more, I'm like, okay, let's do 2, that would be come in handy. But then I got into 2, and I'm like, oh yeah, we got to go a little bit further. And that's, the more you learn, the more exciting it is. And it's taught, my family how the energy work is a real true live, affects your body. And that's what's kind of starting to win them over to
absolutely
understanding what I do, instead of like when I came out of Reiki 1, they're like, ooh, she's crazy. But not no more. Not no more.
And see, I kind of deal with that too. And so you just have to meet your family, your surroundings, where you are, where they're at. And I believe that some of the best teachers, healers, or people that are really out there helping people to get well, and emotionally, physically, spiritually, are those that have themselves. The saying is, walk a mile in someone's shoes. Okay.
That's why we have gone through so much in our lifetimes, because it brings you to the point where you're not going to judge anybody on what they're dragging around, because you can look back into your own past and your own history. It's like, I'm not judging nobody. I've been there, done that, all of it.
To be authentic. And now I'll give you a side story on this, really. And this is just how I felt a long time ago. Before, I've always had one foot in the allopathic side of medicine, because that's where I am, you know what I mean, in treating people in dentistry. We've been doing the best we have, you know, have been taught, but I've always had another foot in holistic and knowing that there's alternatives and feeling a little conflicted in some things, right?
Yeah,
So,
I would.
I was going to go with a story and now I lost it. Oh no, I know what it was. One of my patients early on was a nurse anesthetist, a man who was a nurse anesthetist, and we were talking about women giving birth. Now, it's just a personal experience or whatever, right? You know, when you're giving birth, and some don't really care who's in the room or what's going on, and sometimes it's a very personal thing too. But when it came to doctors and nurses and stuff like that, honestly, again, walking a mile in my shoes, when you feel like your guts are going to explode and you're going to die during the whole process, there's something comforting. It resonates with you if you have a woman over you going, it's okay, sweetie, I have 5 of these at home, you're going to be just fine. Like she's been through it, she knows exactly what you're feeling, intensity wise and stuff. And that's way more comforting and way different than somebody who, even a woman who has not given birth, that what is it? There's empathy and sympathy. You know what I mean? They can understand that you're having trouble, but they don't, have not experienced it. So to me, it's not as authentic. And it was just my personal experience after going through at least, a couple times, that I preferred to have a nurse that had gone through it, being there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I suppose it was discrimination or whatever, you know what I mean, if you start putting all those barriers, but it just makes sense. This is a big deal in your life. It's a milestone. So that's a little
huge.
So
I mean, it's very personal, but it's a life changer by having, somebody there who's not going to judge
passionately, really,
whatever you're going through. I
mean,
because I've been in the depression, I've been in all kinds of messes.
Right.
And then when I found this, the body code and the emotion code, I'm like, I'm thinking this is what my family needs. I grew up, and I wouldn't say in a peaceful household. Mm-hmm. And for none of us, I have 2 brothers and a sister, mm-hmm. and it was a chore.
A lot of work.
Let's say violent. It was a violent household, and so be it. But these are things that we've learned from in all our lives, mm-hmm. and you learn from that. But just seeing what this body code has done emotionally, mm-hmm. is absolutely astounding.
Yeah, that's just amazing. So it started with your Reiki, and again, that's the start into your energy healing. You're learning of all this new treatment modality stuff. And even for me, as I'm learning, you have to be kind of careful. You can be enthusiastic, but you're careful as to who you share it with. And if they're going to be, trying to pound you down over it, you just kind of move on. Okay, thanks for playing. Goodbye. Okay, so that was really, you got enough good results, sustainable results with your Reiki, that you then found the emotion codes, and then the body code, right?
Yeah, well, finding the emotion code, when I read the books, I was like, woo, this is fantastic. And, but what I was at just like a stagnant point. Yeah. I wasn't making any more progress in my walk, and I'm out there like, come on, I'll cry, I'll do whatever I got to do to work through this, to step forward in my spiritual walk. And I just, I didn't have anything and to move forward with, and to make me step forward, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like I was making progress and learning and drawing closer, and this started bringing it forward to me, just taking off the heart. We have like an energetic heart wall that we, develop over our whole life to protect us.
Right.
It keeps you from experiencing emotions for what they are. I've kind of noticed that people are when they have a heart wall, they're either a little extreme in their emotions, or they're kind of numb in their emotions.
And that's how they've had to be to get through this life.
Yes. Yes. And when you remove that, you actually get to experience your emotions for what they are instead of, going through the filter of the heart wall, and everything else you're holding on to. To me, I've told multiple people, as to get your driver's license, you should have to have your heart wall removed. And then everybody would be, we wouldn't even need a popo. We would just be going on about our business.
Well, we are manifesting a world where it is going to be just so completely different and awesome, beautiful in that regard. But wouldn't you say too, learning this on your own with this body code and emotion code, it's very similar, like other practitioners doing other things, whether it's readings, going into past lives, you're finding trauma and how that emotionally, the imprint, the cellular imprint that you bring in. You know what I mean? So you work in tandem and similarly, I mean, a lot of these things can work together.
Yeah, I mean, because like what I do is I'm connecting to their subconscious. I'm
Right.
getting to answer their subconscious, to answer questions, and it's going to be for their highest good or whatever they're drawn to correct, and there's a whole lot of things that you can work on in that direction.
Right.
But,
So you use
it's
both the emotion code and the body code.
yeah, you have to do one, get certified in one in order to get certified in the other one.
But when you're using them, do you use them together then that way?
Yes.
Okay. Because they
Yeah.
obviously
Well,
work.
when you're working it with the emotion code, you're only doing emotions, which it starts with your heart wall, because you can only release so much at a time. And then I release emotions until it says, okay, nope, she's done for the day, or they're done for the day.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
you have
That makes
time to
sense.
process.
So similar to people who do release toxins physically from the bottom or the body, whether they are parasites or heavy metals or whatever, your body can only withstand a certain amount.
Yeah. And when it's done,
Same
it'll cut you off and say, okay,
thing.
they're finished for the day. And I
Okay.
see, like, when you people first start, it's usually a bit of a longer processing time. But if they do more sessions, it seems to get shorter, because it's like your body is starting to understand how to process and how to get rid of the emotions through your
Right.
body. So
And so that emotion code is a powerful method of finding all those hidden blockages, again, that we're not even aware of, and releasing them, allowing them for healing on the physical and emotional level. So definitely multi-layered. And then your body codes go a step further, addressing all the imbalances that it's caused in the body's energy system, and they contribute also to the emotional issues. So you are using these techniques to help people remove all that emotional baggage, and people then see overall improvements in their health
quickly, usually pretty quickly.
quickly.
But usually by the end of your processing time, you have your full of what you've got out of that session. Many people can walk out of the session and already feel better. I was working on a lady this week, and she was sick. Doctors couldn't tell her why, blah blah blah. So she came in, she's like, I got to know what's wrong. Well, long story short, it ended up being all about the gallbladder. And she's like, I just had an MRI and my gallbladder is fine. I was like, I'm just doing what your body told me to do. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
Long story short, when I brought it up, when we were finished, she's like, oh, wow. Okay. All right. Okay. This and that feels better. And then I pull it up and I showed her like all the side effects of the gallbladder being off. And she's like, well, I'll be.
Well, see, and
I had that. I had that.
That's amazing, and that's wonderful. And I have I've got the first level of biofeedback, certification, and I just haven't used it in a while. But same thing, you are listening to what the body is telling you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're not even aware at the time. And again, our medical treatments and whatever, we've been taught to believe that they're the only ones that can help us, and they don't approach it the way that they are going to find the answers, at least not the easy way.
And that was the same thing. The MRI said it's fine. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the MRI did say it was fine, but your body is telling me that it's not fine, so I'm going to listen to your body, not the doctor.
Okay, so again, for people, this is where I'm going with it. Like for people who, let's say the co and the virus that we had, or any kind of a virus with flu and colds and stuff during the winter comes through, and people like, oh, I don't want to be in crowds because I don't want to be exposed. For the person who's doing everything they can, they have a positive attitude, they feel good, they feel like they're pretty much bulletproof, or they're going to be fine when they go to these places. They're protected. They're most likely not going to get the virus or get the sickness. But there's people who just almost wish it to be happening before they even get there. Okay. Yep. So for those people, we know that the body will talk no matter what, but for those people, what you do, can you do the work on those people too, and still they will feel results? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, long as I have permission and I get to talk to their subconscious, we're gonna make progress. Whether they believe in it or not, it's still gonna make the same progress as long as I've been allowed to connect to get answers from their body.
Is there a way that you, in doing this, as the person is discovering for themselves what's going on with their body, maybe from their experiences as they're healing, do they learn to kind of do it themselves a little bit too? Or
it's kind of like when I'm working on them and we're pulling out emotions, and you've been in this log jam for a long time, and
log jam is a good one.
Pulling them out, and eventually you're going to get a good flow and of getting things out of your body until it log jams up again, and then you come in and let me pull out some more, and then you'll get good flow of getting the energy flowing out through the body. I mean, because what I see is like people on average have 3 to 4. I mean, they have many emotions that we release, but they have like certain ones that they're just not good at releasing.
Right.
Like they'll have 3 of this one and 4 of this one and this and that, but they all like kind of line up. So we all have different ones that we're just not as good at processing as other ones.
And sometimes, you're releasing them and you see them for a follow-up session, and my gosh, it crept in a little bit again. So you got to kind of go touch up.
I mean, they don't come back.
They don't come back?
No, the emotions won't come back. But what your body will do is that if you're not releasing enough to make it happy, it will move it to a spot to make you, okay, let's see this work the first time, let's go do it again, and let's get rid of more. And this is what your body's wanting, to get rid of more emotions for sure.
Okay. And then on top of that, okay, so the ones that you remove don't come back, but there's new emotions that will enter the picture.
New ones, and we have them
all the time.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you have them in brain bones, in your bones, your muscles, your fascia. I mean, literally organs everywhere. And when you're in the body code, you get into specific organs and muscles and everything specific, and have to pull them out of that.
Now, have you found, to make this for some clients that maybe have really been, as you say, log jammed? I love that. People can understand that. That maybe it's more effective to start with Reiki first and then go into the other, or do you ever incorporate all 3? Or
I do one where I do a Reiki a emotion code session, and then I do a Reiki session. And it seems like I've been testing, like when you test before, what the processing time is, and then I do the Reiki, and it brings the processing time down usually by half. Because sometimes it's as long as 14 days, and sometimes, and you're not supposed to do any other kind of energy work in between the processing time. I don't recommend that. I mean, I'll do it because I know exactly what I just did, so I know how to protect myself from it.
Right. Well, I guess I'm asking because if a person is so uptight or brand new, or really going through some things with the relaxation part, the stress reduction, that
it'll help. I would start. I mean, starting with the emotion code is the way to start.
Okay.
I mean, because what you're doing, or what I see that the body does, is, of course, we get rid of the heart wall that we can, and then start releasing emotions. And what it does as your body seems to pick ones that it's really, get this out of here, get this out of here, get this out of here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it seems to be pretty big. I've just noticed that from one session to another. If you go into the body code the next time, and if there's an issue, you know, the body has already chosen to release most of those issues because it knows what's going on and what's happening. You know, if we don't get this out of here, we're not gonna do very well.
And basically with what you do with that, there's like a report that you give somebody after their session. You know, you have
Yep,
it logged up
usually
and
write it all up and send
yeah.
all the emotions and what they were to whomever I worked on,
Right.
just
So
so
a person can really see what
yeah, if they want to
the
refer
rabbit
back.
trail looks like.
It can be, yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, we dig out the ages and stuff like that
Mhm.
if you don't recognize them. But I have noticed I've started releasing preconceived emotions first, like off the heart wall, because since they're yours, they just release like regular emotions do.
Oh, okay.
So if you're not specifically asking for preconceived, you would not know, um, because they release, because they
Mhm.
are yours, but they just have been around a whole lot longer. And a client helped me find that because she didn't recognize the emotion, and she's like, and she's done a whole lot of work, and she's like, "Can you ask if that's from a past life?" And when I did, it's like, yes, but it was releasing just like a normal one. So now I try to separate it and do those first, so you'll actually know what you've brought in with you and know, you know.
Well, see, you've been doing this enough times and trying to use all those experiences that you know, you're gathering your lineup and kind of the methodology, if you will, to where
Yeah,
it's going to give the best outcome. And your
that's what I'm shooting for.
work in progress. Yeah. And you're
Well, I mean,
always
we're
learning.
constantly learning, and if
Yep.
you're not, then you're not trying. So,
No, exactly. So basically all of this that you do, the Reiki and the emotion and body codes, they there's the different things that the work will allow for the body. Okay. And stress reduction and relaxation is the first thing that we've kind of touched on, right? And that kind of gets the body balanced with the energy and helps the person be calm and relaxed. And it's we do live in a world with a lot of high stress and anxiety, and I would imagine that might take a few appointments, you know what I mean, to kind of release if you've had it long term.
yeah,
As they say, been living in your fight and flight. Pardon me.
like the body code will work on the nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous
Mhm.
system to help you get back to not
Right.
living fight or flight.
The other thing, of course, is the pain management, right? So
That's my
improving the
favorite
flow of
part.
energy for the body so it can reduce pain, speed up the healing process for, so certainly if somebody's going to go in and have like a major surgery, this would be a good thing to do like preemptively and then during the healing process.
Definitely, Reiki is fantastic during, I mean, even I think it's the Cleveland Clinic, they have Reiki practitioners on hand to help speed healing through there. So
The
you kind
Cleveland
of,
Clinic did, huh? Okay.
yeah, they
Well,
keep them
there
on.
are places with open-minded healers or doctors.
I mean, it's been around a lot longer than our medical system has.
Absolutely. And that's, you know, again, that's where we're starting to spread the news that this is the real deal. So improved mental health, right? Basically releasing your trapped emotions, of course, is going to help, and it alleviates the symptoms of depression and other mental health conditions. Now, do you know of any psychologists, psychiatrists, any of those people that kind of are open to this kind of stuff?
That I have not.
Because it really makes sense to where we might be going, because we've become a society of medication. You
Yes.
know what I mean? And ironically, I don't know, I just find this so ironic. Many of the people who take their life, they're on medication, they're in treatment, but then the fine print will say this may cause those kind of thoughts.
Right? I mean,
Okay,
it's astounding. The
something's wrong
difference.
with this picture if you are going to think logical. you know, and think for yourself. And so all this, you know, these other ways of going inward to where it originates is where it needs to go. So
it does. I mean, because it can be imbalances. One of my clients, I mean, we've done 3 sessions together, and the first session, I mean, she was in tears before I even got to start talking. I mean, she's just done. And you know, I mean, you know, I work my hardest to get as much done as we can during each session because I don't want to see people suffer that way. And then by our 3rd session, you know, we were working and getting things done. And by the end, you know, we were saying goodbye and she was tearing up. I'm like, why are you crying? She's like, this is of joy. And I'm like,
yeah,
that makes it all worthwhile.
To your knowledge, have you so far had any clients that have been on, you know, medication for all that and have seen an improvement to where, I mean, again, in this world, we're not doctors, you know, whatever, but, and you
Not a
have to,
doctor. And I didn't ask them to go, but I have one that was on a plethora of medicines.
Mhm.
And this is through quite a few sessions, but now is down to 2 total.
Oh, wow.
Total. And I mean, it was literally a bag of medicine.
Now, is that because they, you know, as they were seeing you and going through their own stuff,
healing,
they went to their doctor and the doctor's permission, or did they do that on their kind of?
It was somebody who knew how to research on how to
wean themselves off.
Yes. And it was, I mean, I don't do it. I don't have anything to do with that part of it. All I'm trying to do is to heal the things that they're doing it for.
You have the tools to assist them.
A lot of this was anxiety and depression and quite a few other things that they don't have anymore. You know, sleeping issues.
Well, see, and with what you're doing, you're able to pull into all those different things that sometimes now the other thing is in medicine, it's not like you just have one doctor that you go see. You know, whether it's your blood pressure, now you go to somebody. If it's your heart, you go to somebody else. Now, if it's something else, I mean, you have all these specialists.
Who knows how those things cross over?
Well, I see people that are on like a page and a half or 2 pages of medication every day when I'm at work too. And my thing is every medication, you just take one. Well, it's got a reaction. It's supposed to do something for you that you need. And it may be helpful to a degree, but it's got a reaction. Then you add another medication, maybe, or you even, or, you know, herbals or other things that you're trying to do for your body that are good. And then there's an interaction. Now you start adding layers and layers of different medication. And I know just recently, somebody here in town, they lost their father and he was 91 or 2, you know what I mean? But towards the end, he was in a facility, a private facility, and he was on a, you know, it was like terminal, right? So they took him off of all of his medicine and brought in hospice.
He's terminal.
He rallied.
Oh, I don't.
And then he had, you know, maybe a year or so after. I mean, he did better, and it's like, hello, light bulb moment here. You know what I mean? So, you know, as the healthcare industry really becomes healthcare and not sick management or sick care, it'll be a joy to see that change. Yeah,
it's coming. It's coming. People are really
coming.
To understand
everything is so slow, but we're still holding space for it, and it's just consider how long it's been going the wrong way. For
we just didn't know. I don't think we had the interest before.
Well, we certainly didn't, you know, as we came into this particular lifetime. Then the other thing, enhanced focus and concentration, right? So basically helping them with attention deficit disorders, cognitive performance. So the other question I was going to have, this is safe for all levels or all ages, correct?
Yes, I've worked on babies.
And then a lot of these children who have learning disabilities and they're on the medication.
Yeah, it's it's so sad, but I mean, you would be astounded at what a 1-year-old could hold in their body. I've worked on babies, and
well, they're holding
young,
them from the parents too, and then other lifetimes or whatever. And
you got your inherited, but you have preconceived, and you have them, basically not understanding why, life
right,
is happening to them.
right.
Everything was so good till I got here. They just so good. It was awesome.
Yeah, some
And
of
then
those newborn faces are all scrunched up and like really not really ticked off. You can tell.
Yeah.
It makes sense. And actually, from a physical standpoint, I think that just going through the birth canal, as far as what your body, the spine, and everything, it can be one of the most traumatic experiences ever.
It really is.
Right out of the gate.
Right? Yep. They didn't waste any time getting
No,
to
they
them.
didn't. So, boosting your immune system. Obviously, if you're not weighed down with all this other baggage, it's going to be boosting your immune system.
True.
And
the story on that, though, like the immune system, when you have had like severe traumas in your life, whether they be physical, emotional, whatever they are, your spirit body will come out. It will dislodge from your body. And that's what brings your immune system crashing down. Because it's like, oh no, I don't want nothing to do with that, and then, it pulls out. It leaves enough in there. It keeps you alive and functioning, but you have to get rid of those traumas and everything behind that in order to get the spirit body to come fully back.
So you're not talking about just when you're sleeping at this point.
No,
you're talking about all the time.
All day. Yeah.
How long can that happen?
Your whole life.
Okay.
I mean, I've put one back in on a 9-year-old.
That's another trippy thing. I mean, from our analytical 3D brain, here and now.
Yeah.
There's so many of these things that are beautiful to understand and learn, relearn, remember. But it still is just kind of a mind blower. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To get all these.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. And if people aren't in that space as you're talking about stuff and they're listening to you, they're going, yeah, bring the white coats.
Yeah. But I mean, it's true. It's true. I mean, it's happened. I mean, to me.
So you have learned a lot yourself, not only by making yourself healthier and more balanced and happier. As you're doing this, each client has different stories. And so you are discovering all kinds of things for yourself firsthand.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. You never stop learning on how things roll. And basically we have to get our energetic body happy.
Yeah.
And in order for it to come back in. So it means you need to literally clear everything that has it upset. And it could be very simple things. It could be very big things that keep it from coming in. Now, I've had some that I've had to do in 2 sessions, and I've had some they go back in the same session, and I've had some that I'm literally still working on.
Right.
Trying to get where the spirit body's happy enough with the body to go back into it. So
wow. There's that's a lot to handle and a lot to juggle. And then in a day, you're changing gears with everybody being different and their situations. So it's no easy task, but you're up to the challenge.
Rewarding,
sounds like, right.
To feel it and know it.
Sounds like you're doing a very good job with it. And again, just like for anybody who follows Dolores Cannon's work, years ago, she didn't set out for anything other than to do some simple healing and helping or whatever with her hypnosis. And it was through her experience doing that she discovered what she did. And her information has changed many lives.
Many. Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
So then improved sleep, of course, and then we live in a society that's so sleep deprived.
Yeah.
So that's another beautiful side effect. Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. A wonderful benefit to your work. And then your increased energy levels.
Yep.
Boy.
Just getting rid of the things that are holding you back and holding you down. I mean, you'd be surprised, like even on, we have like ideal allergies, and we can develop ideal allergies to joy and happiness, where like they come in where your body is like, you make these decisions so many times and your body's like, okay, we're not having this. We have an ideal allergy to joy and happiness. We're not having it. And that keeps you from getting there again. And you clear what's behind it and get it back. I mean, the same thing can be said with abundance issues.
Right.
I mean, you have all kinds of money issues hidden in ideal allergies that you have to get rid of in order to feel in your full abundance. And that's pretty amazing.
And once you get there and stuff, I suppose it just would take, you're living such a more productive and happier life as you do this, that, maybe an occasional, I think I'll check in with my body and, see if there's anything that, and try to nip it in the bud early.
Yeah.
Before.
I tried to, like I did today. I did one on myself today. I said, please let me be able to talk. Because I get shy when I get on the recording, because I get a little shy.
That too. I mean, you have all these ideas. It's just like, and then I have a thought, and it's like all of a sudden it just goes out. Kind of reminds me of my grandma or something. I'm like, oh shoot. But do you have any, before we kind of wrap this up, do you have any significant or any kind of interesting stories?
They're all very interesting.
Yes, they're all unique.
One of the funny ones, when we were talking about the ideal allergies, I was doing a body code like on myself, and I couldn't eat peppers, any kind of pepper. And long story short, I started doing a body code, not understanding why I couldn't eat any kind of pepper, green, red, jalapeno, didn't matter. And I had a physical allergy to them because they tasted like poison. So when I started doing the work behind it, I had an ideal allergy to resist. And this is because of all the COVID verbiage. And when I released the ideal allergy and everything behind this physical allergy, I was able to eat peppers again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it would, there's things like people that have lost their taste buds and all this stuff. There's stuff behind it that makes
it brings new light to the term. Well, it's all in your head.
It literally is. It literally is in your head.
Correct. But it's just like everything else that they've done to us. They show a movie or something and, we approve, because that was entertainment, but it's just ridiculous.
Yep. So you just don't never know, but, it's I just want to tell you, like, some of the things that it works on is like broadcast messages.
Oh,
like our background noise of what we put out when other people come near us. And those are amazing to get rid of, because I like to get rid of the broadcast message and then try to put something in that's, the opposite, because like my husband, he spent a lot of years as a firefighter and paramedic, but his broadcast message was, I hate people. I hate people. And I had to get rid of that, because if you looked at him, I mean, if you didn't know him, you would think he was pretty scary, but he's not. But it was that.
Well, his experiences have hardened him.
People.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, things like that you don't even know that are there, that everybody else.
And when you say the broadcast message, I mean, and how all of us have our aura and our field and whatever, and this is anybody, even if whether you know that you have it or not, and how that all works.
Because I mean, there's like some that are like, treat me like a child, and this is grown people this gets attached to, and you wonder why people treat you certain ways. You've got stuff back there.
Well, you wonder why they invented the idea of having these T-shirts where on the back you've got, kick me again, or I'm with stupid, or
Yep.
very rude things that they put on there.
But still, I mean, it's kind of the
As
same
long as
thing
as
that
long
our
as we
body
don't
can
get to
pick
the
up.
point where, okay, I'm going to make a funny here. As long as we don't get to the point where we get too in tune with all that. And I'm going to say it this way. One time I took one of our dogs to the vet, and everybody's in there with their dog on the leash and, making sure, because the dogs are curious and and a couple of them got together and they're sniffing the rear end or whatever. And everybody's just sitting there like they're constipated or something. They're just not smiling. They're not reacting or anything. And I'm like, leave it to me. I'm the one who says what everybody's thinking. So I say, isn't it great that we don't greet each other that way? And then everybody started laughing and talking.
Yeah, girl.
Come on, let's get with it, people.
Ooh, wake up. Let's just have a little bit of fun.
Yeah,
Hello.
that's fine. Was there anything else that you wanted to say on those points?
No, I mean, some of the other stuff that it does work on it, getting rid of curses and entities. Yeah, I've gotten rid of quite a few entities, quite a few curses actually. Cordings, it helps cut cords in people, and saboteurs.
And again, these are things that you don't even know they exist until you get into it, and the body communicates with you.
Yep, the body's saying, "Hey, I got some bad juju over here."
Does it kind of have a level with it? Because I'm thinking of other people's work too. Like, does it go in degrees? Like, if there's multiple things to deal with, does it shout out which one's the loudest and which one you deal with first?
Well, it's like the body is choosing which one. Hey, let's get this
to you that time.
And usually that would bring up anything else
underneath. Oh yeah.
So you have to get rid of everything behind it before you can get rid of the thing itself.
And to think that we're going to have telepathy at some point, we might have to work into doing that in a nice way as well.
Oh, we can try.
So I'm going to read like this end here. So overall, people, the energy work with Jeanne is an exceptional platform for anyone seeking to improve their overall health and well-being. Jeanne's certification in Reiki, emotion code, and body code practices, coupled with her dedication and her passion, make her a reliable and effective practitioner. The treatments offered are not just about healing, they are about transformation. So if you're ready to embark on a journey towards your holistic wellness, energy work with Jeanne is a good place to start. I highly recommend Jeanne. I have had her work on me briefly a couple times, and when I slow down, I'll do something more. And I have friends that have had her offered her services to them, and they've been very, very happy. So
ask that anybody who watches this who already had a session, if you could put your whatever happened, or not necessarily your story, but what you thought about it, please put it in the comments. And let other people know, because I mean,
plus I will have my email attached in the description too. If there's something that's longer or more personal, you can put it in there. I can make sure Jeanne gets it as well. And or just like anybody else that I'm going to be highlighting and showcasing, if you have other ideas of questions that you want us to address, we could always do another little conversation or whatever. But I will have to say, I enjoy so much what you're doing. And it's like, I want it when I learn these things. It's like with my biofeedback, it does an amazing amount of stuff, but it's almost so much, it's just kind of my eyes gloss over and whatever, if I haven't been in it a while. You want to do a little bit of everything, but you can't. Okay. And so we have to rely. You do. Yeah. And obviously, this is, it is your passion, and you are making a difference for people. And I am so happy that you have found these other modalities to add to what you found to work for you. So
and getting the word out there is the big deal, because I mean, he developed this system because it's actually a app on my phone that you go through to find, you're doing your yes and no questions left and right, this and that. And he developed this over 25 years. And it's like, how do we just now find this? I mean, it's really of getting the word out there, because, I've done multiple healing sessions with people, And I've not, I mean, the results that I've gotten from this is hands down the best that I've
Well,
got.
that's an interesting point that you bring up. There's a lot of things. There's a name given to it. It's like if you have never, like say you're naming your child and your name, you think you have a unique name, you've never heard it before, and then all of a sudden everybody has got that name. Or, a car that is brand new, is never around, and now everybody's driving that car. So you're right. These things have been around forever. Not only have they've been hidden and tucked away and basically made for us to believe that they're fake and not effective.
Yep.
But I believe the timing, of it is all, because some of this just had to be this way.
Yep.
Again, another rude situation, but we are overcoming this. And again, it's like it's coming out of the woodwork, so to speak. And it's a beautiful thing that way. So I will definitely put your information, your hours, I mean, again, it can be in person, and a lot of this is done through Zoom.
Anything in person has to be scheduled through me.
Right.
Actually, I started this week working at just doing one day at it's called the Awakened Soul here in Knoxville. And like once a month, I'm going to go and do a day there and meet people in person.
And that's going to be another layer to it, because I'm sure that is.
Well, I felt like I was put in my community for a reason, and I need to do some work directly in my community. So,
and if nothing else, you're inspiring other people who are, I want to help people. I'm interested in this and that and the other thing. I'm going to look into that myself. And so you get that to be the network, around the world.
I know of a couple of people who have gone and taken the classes after to me.
Absolutely. So I will have all that information in the description. I highly recommend if you're, interested in trying something. She's very affordable, and she's a very sweet woman. And I appreciate you, and I am glad to call you friend. And again, Matt, put your comments in there if you've had a session with her and you want to express your thankfulness for what she's helped you with, and or email me with some suggestions as to what else we can talk about or other concerns.
Awesome.
So awesome. Well, thank you, Jeannie, for joining me today, and wish you all well out there, and you enjoy the rest of the week wherever you are. Okay, until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.